Oh, yeah. Boom. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, things are changing forever for GarageBand on iOS because we are going to be taking a look at AudioScope from 4 Pockets. You're not going to want to miss this. It is going to change everything. Hello and welcome to the show. Where's the music gone? It's not happening anymore. My name's Jade. This is How to App on iOS, and I'll explain a little bit more about that very shortly. I'd like to welcome you all here today to the show. I'd like to also welcome our Wart Warriors. You can become a Wart Warrior by clicking the join down in the chat for $1 a month. You get custom emojis and fun stuff like that. Here we go. It's the start of a new week, and we are looking at another fantastic app here on the channel. What's happening with the music? Because I love playing your music on the channel. That's not changing. It's just changing position in the show. So now we're going to end with somebody's song for the show going forward. Just because I want to get straight into the meat of the app and do all that kind of stuff. And let's end with an artist. You can see up in the pinned comment of the chat, you can see who today's featured artist will be, who I'll be ending the show with. So that's not changing. There's a link and all that stuff. But let's get straight into it. Shall we say hello to people who are here? Hello, I have an idea and Hypnotic Transmissions and Barry Glenn and Joe Glenn and Kim Harden Hudson's cooking something special. Bullshit. L'Reality's here and Brad Example. What's going on? Alex Backus, hello, my friend. Who else do I see here? Cold Acre, hello, hello. Thank you to Pete Johns for the last 2 hours of doing your music live and playing all these fantastic artists like he does every week, and for sending folks over. Thanks very much, Pete. Good to have you back and all that stuff. Hello, Sean Chandler. SM Borthwick, what's going on? Scott, Mateus, hope you're well. Thank you all for coming over and hanging out. If I've missed anybody, I'm a doofus. I have an idea. I think I got you as well. And Mars Capone, hey, what's going on? All right, let's jump straight in and keep the show moving so people don't get too bored, yeah? We'll head over to thebeatcommunity.com where every day I'll update you on what's happening across desktop software, iOS, samples and expansion. This is your one-stop shop. Go and check out thebeatcommunity.com. They have a Facebook page as well. And I'm on the iOS section here. You can see there's a whole bunch of things. Velvet Machine is on offer. There's a whole lot of new apps. Audio Evolution stuff's on sale. Phonolith have released Cascade, which we're looking at this week as well. Tomorrow we're looking at Buttersynth, which just dropped, and it's incredible. It is incredible. One of the apps of the year. There's so many great apps this year. This week, every app that we're looking at is a banger. Price drops. We have Digitalism from Audio Kit Pro, $1 off. Velvet Machine, which I reviewed ages ago, but it's well worth your time, is on sale. Audio Evolution Mobile Studios dropped a few bucks. Vocal Tune Studio, we looked at a couple of weeks ago. 4 Pockets have a sale on. You can't miss Neon, Progressions, Euclidean. They're all absolute killer apps. Even Evolver, they're all on sale. Blease have some stuff on sale. N-Track Studio, GSDSP have all their apps on sale. There's a heap of apps on sale. Today we are looking at AudioScope by 4 Pockets. Now, you may say, I've already seen you do a show on this. And yes, you did. I did a complete walkthrough on this a couple of days ago. Go back and watch that. This isn't going to be a complete walkthrough today. This is going to be how to set this up in GarageBand and change the way you use GarageBand. It is a $14.99 app. AudioScope by 4 Pockets will change the way you use GarageBand forever. It's unbelievable. It's something you need in your arsenal. It's something that is now provided within GarageBand that Apple have yet to provide for us. I can't recommend this app enough. Bang. Let me tell you about this too, because if I jump over to my Mac over here, I've got a GarageBand project open here on my Mac in GarageBand, a Meteus track here. If I go back and hit play, make sure it's not too loud. What's even cool is AudioScope works here in GarageBand on Mac as well. So if I hit play here and I want to move the drums around, so in saying that, I'm assuming, now this isn't it doesn't say it's for the Mac, but it downloads on the Mac, it works on the Mac, it's working in GarageBand on the Mac, so I'm assuming it's going to work in Logic as well. So that's a bonus. Yeah, let's jump back over here to the iPad. And today what we're going to do is we're going to open up two projects here in GarageBand and remix these songs. So one of them is an FMC song, one of my tracks, and the other one is a recent song Pete Johns did called The 1%, which if you remember on Pete's channel, he did this song where he recorded a bunch of guitar tracks using microphones. And I think it's going to be really interesting to use AudioScope to remix this song and use some of the compressors and everything. Shall we start with Pete's song? I think so. Let's show you how to operate this thing. It's really easy to do. Give me a second to cough. So it is an AUV3. When using it in GarageBand, you need to add it at the end of every effects chain on every track in the project. So we've got a few here we need to add, yeah? But we'll do it one by one. We'll walk through this. And luckily it starts with A. So we hit edit. We add an audio unit, and it's right up the top here, thankfully, AudioScope. And it's best, if you're going to use this, to name each track as you go, yeah? So we've got here drums. So I'm going to open AudioScope. First thing I'm going to do is up here is where you rename the track, and we're just going to call it drums. Set, done. Next track, we've got a guitar. I'm just going to call these guitar 1 left, guitar 1 right, guitar 2. So we're going to do it like that because there's a lot of guitar tracks in here. So once again, now you'll notice I'm adding this at the end of every thing here. So always at the end of the chain. AudioScope, we'll go in and change this to G1. It's left, I think. G1 left. Boom. You can go full screen with this as well. Now we'll add in another one here. I know this is a bit of a laborious process, but I want to show you exactly how to set it up. And you'll see when you add each track, it automatically names the track to AudioScope 3. But it's best to go in and name it just so you know what you're doing, so you can see what's happening. So we got a G2 right here. That's done. Then we've got these next guitars. We're going to add in at the end of the chain. AudioScope, boom. I mean, for ages we've been asking, so we've got guitar 2 left. We've been asking for a master channel for GarageBand for how long? Forever. And it hasn't come. So luckily, Paul from 4 Pockets has created this amazing app. If you didn't see my other show, I'm sure you're going to be blown away by this. So we're at guitar 2 right. Got to hope my memory's going to work for all this. Let's add it in another one here at the end of the chain. Hello to people who are joining as well. So Tremor Bear and Gregory O'Sullivan. Good to see you both. AudioScope. We have a guitar 3 left. Done. And next one, so we're doing a guitar 4 right. G4 right. Haven't got too many to go. We've got 4 more guitars to go. Hello, Mix Club. Welcome aboard. So this is what are we up to? Guitar. See what happens when I stop thinking? That was guitar. Was that G4? Hang on a minute. What have I done? I've got 1, 2. What have I done here? Guitar 3. This one's supposed to be guitar 3. I'm already fucking up. Right. There we go. Don't mind me. I'm an idiot. So this one's going to be guitar 4 left. I've probably chosen a hard one to do because there's just all guitars in this. But why I chose this, you'll understand in a second. Because to be able to space all these guitars out across this mix is just going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to sound amazing. Pete's probably going to want to have this remixed after doing this. So we've now got G for right. Here we go. M right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is our 5th set of guitars. Man, a lot of guitars in this track. And we'll rename this G5 left. And last but not least for the guitars, lucky there's only a few vocal tracks in here. Rename G5 right. But obviously when you're setting up a project, you know, you do all this before you set up your song, you know, for your first tracks and stuff. So we've got vocals here. We've got lead vocals. It looks like, let's have a listen to these vocals and see what they do.
Above and see the world. There is nothing that you can do but close your eyes.
Okay. So these sound like they're effect vocals. And these are the mains. So we'll jump ahead here. Hi Dom, I see you there. And we're going to edit this. And what I'm going to do is delete unnecessary track here because we don't need this effect EQ. And then we're going to add in AudioScope. And we're going to call this vocal V1 left. So it's the main vocal. That's done. And now I'm going to need to drag this down the chain to the end, right? So you've got to make sure AudioScope's at the end of the chain. I can't stress that enough. So again, we'll go in here and delete this effect track because it does nothing. It's just something GarageBand add for some weird reason. And let's rename this one. Why are these both named the same thing? That's odd. Let's see what's going on here.
High above and see the world.
So this one's our, let's just see which one this is on. Left. That's our left.
But close your eyes again.
This one should be right.
'Cause you don't like what you're seeing, and you don't like what it means, and you don't want to believe it, 'cause you're part of the one I
don't know why it's doing that. That's really odd. Maybe it's the way Pete copied a track. Maybe it's a copy. I don't know why. Let's try this again. Let's try adding in another one here. So we're removing this AudioScope, and this will be vocal 2, 1, set, and this one will be edit. So we're almost done. We've almost got all of them in here, and then once they're all in here, you only need to open one of them, which is the best news. So here we got vocal 2, 2. So I understand all this, all my stupid coding here. All good. Let's go in here and just remove this AudioScope. We'll see if we'll add a new one in. Just to make sure I'm doing the right thing. AudioScope. That's better. Vocal 1 right. So, it's done it again. Weird. There you go. There's a little weird thing. I don't know why it's doing that. I guess we're going to find out as we go. So we've got all these tracks in here. We're not going to bother with the last one because I don't want to bother with it. We just want to make sure they're all at the end of the chain. Let's move them all to the end of the chain. Everything's at the end of the chain. Oh, this one's not. Boom. So you can see over here, Every audio scope is sitting at the end of the chain. And what this does is it's going to take over the entire project. So now we're on the drums up here. All I'm going to do for the rest of this is just open up this copy of AudioScope. And I can now control the entire mix. So I can bring in each part of the mix individually if I like. By doing so, here's where you can see all the instruments. So they've all got their names here, guitar 1, left, so everything's all here for you to choose from. And here's our live mix down the bottom. So I'm just going to go into the settings. Again, if you've missed the previous video I did, go back and watch the full tutorial. And what we're going to do is go into our live mix and set this to 50 dB. So we've got a nice wide live mix. We go and click on live mix, select the drums. Drums are selected, nice. And now I click on this mix, hold down, and our drums are now in the mix. So now I'll be able to start moving these drums around within the mix, right? Now I can remove these drums from the mix by just selecting the drums and holding down, and they disappear. But if I want to bring in the entire mix, I can just click on this mix bar down here. We can bring this in. I should be able to do it this way, or I can come up here to settings, live mix options, and we can enable a full live mix, and I can bring in every instance like this. Bang. So now we have every single track in our mix, and we can start spreading these out across the session. So I've just moved them all. Let's put the drums up the middle at 0 dB. And what do we got? Let's start with, we'll bring all the vocal tracks down. So you can see why I said it's smart to name all these things, because you want to, be able to see what they're all named so you can move them all our Vs. Let's bring all our Vs down the bottom here. And we'll get our guitar 4. We've got a guitar 5. Bring the guitar 5 over here. Here's our guitar 1. And we've got a guitar 2, 3. We've got a 4. Have I got everything in here? Let's just check. Guitar 2, right, left. What have I done? So I have to rename this one. Let's rename this one. I've done this wrong. See? I screwed up. Too confusing. One set. There we go. So we should have guitar 1. Bring that 5 over there. We've got a 3 and 3. We get our 2s. We get our 4s. So we've got them all separated. Now if I play this, you can hear everything's kind of spread out everywhere. We can bring these guitars in a little bit tighter. And what's cool, when you go too loud, right, they will let you know, they will change color. And I'll show you how to do that. We've got this little mix bar down the bottom here. And in options, you've got this thing down here, live mix style. If I change this, the little circles above each track change to a smaller circle. And see how this one's red up here? That's telling us it's peaking. It's really cool. So if I move that down, when it goes red, it's telling you it's peaking. Really nice stuff. Let's take it back to the start here. So, and we can just basically start mixing from here. Let's put these first guitars over here. And you can see on the actual items, you can see the dB that you're moving up and down, something that GarageBand doesn't give you. So you can actually start getting precise dB measurements in GarageBand. So there we go, we've got 2 dB left and right spread, drums in the middle. Let's bring in guitar number 2. Let's spread this up here. So you can hear that instantly in the left-hand side, doubled up. So this app is just incredible for spatial awareness. 3 dB, even mix. We got our 3 left guitar here. Let's do it at about 2.50. Let's bring in our 4th guitar. Nice. So you can hear that one's nicely in the middle. We're getting a beautiful spread of EQ, of width. We'll go back to the start. So we've got 375 here. We'll go 375 there. Maybe. And what you can also do with these tracks, you noticed before when I opened the mix bar, we got these options. If I change the live mix style, see how the circles above have changed? Well, now we can give each one of these tracks a stereo spread. So if I want to take this closest guitar here that's selected, I can go into the stereo button and we can widen this out. And see how it widens out? Or it goes mono. And we can go into this one and we can widen this one out as well. So we've got 2 more guitar tracks down here too. We can add in. Put that right on the 5. Beautiful. But wait, there's so much more, because with each of these tracks, now see when I stop playing how they stop filling in? I love it. I love the little representation of how you know something's playing. So if we hit play here again, everything comes in slowly, so these guitars aren't playing at the moment. It's so beautifully made, this. In answer to your question, Audible, there's a separate section for a sorry, I can't see the comment now. For a side, you're talking about a side compression or? So let's bring in some vocals. So these ones were the main vocals. The V2s, I think they were. V1s, V1Rs, yep.
When you open your mind up to the evidence you don't believe, there is nothing that you can do but close your mind.
Now this is what I'm confused about, because see, we had this little issue. Oh, here we are. It's this one. That's all right.
That you don't know what to do, and you don't
Because Pete's recorded these vocals in stereo, so they're left and right.
'Cause you're part of the 1%.
And then we've got these backing vocals down here that we can make really wide if we want.
When you open your heart up to the people who need your help.
So just for now, here's our rough mix, right? Now here's a great bit. We can go in here to our mix bar and we can save 3 of these. 3 of these, man. So if I just hold down on mix A, that is now saved. So whenever I click on this mix A again, so just to show you, if we decide to move in these backup vocals over here, and then I save this as a mix B by holding down. Now I can just click between these and bounce between different mixes. So really, really amazing to be able to create mixes and then, you know, do a dump of the song, do an export, and then come back and try, instead of having to go back and change all the fiddly settings over here, because we all know what this is like using these volumes. There's no representation of dBs. There's nothing. There's just move the slider to roughly half or three-quarters. It's a bitch, right? So Paul has absolutely done some magic to create this. But, you know, we are nowhere near finished with this today because, as I showed, and you can move this little live bar around wherever you want. So in here, you can solo tracks as well too. So if we've got this drum track selected, I can just hit solo, and there's our drums. We can mute it. So now it's just muted out of the mix. We can group tracks together. So this is really cool. We can group together all the tracks. So just say I want Pete's main vocals here. So I would select vocal 1 and hit group and add it to vocals. There we are, vocals. And then hit vocal 2 and hit group and then vocals. And then we'll add in the other vocals as well. Group, vocals, and the other vocal track here, hit group, vocals. And now if I go down here to our group filter, I can just select the vocals all by themselves. Really, really wicked. Absolutely amazing stuff. Then we could go in and, you know, even add more groups if we want. So you can choose another group there. I didn't mean to add that to another group. Whoops. So we've got other. Let's get rid of this out of other and move it back to vocals. There we go. So and then we could go in and put all the guitars in the guitar track, right? So you can go, what have we got here? Strings, lead, so maybe put it in the lead or whatever. So you can group all your stuff together. And if you want to see everything, just go back to all. But here's the fun stuff, yeah? You don't need any of the compressors in GarageBand or the EQ because guess what? Let's just solo these drums. And we'll close our mix bar. So if we play the drums now, we've just got our drums. There they are. Down here in this little 5 little selections, we have the other options. There's an EQ. So we can take these drums and we can EQ the ever shit out of them. Double click on any of the bars, double tap, and they'll reset. Or if we change a whole bunch of these, let me take you over here, take 3 fingers, triple tap, and the whole thing resets. Really good, very quick. So we'll jump back over to our, get rid of our meters, go into our live mix. And bring up our bar. Let's solo one of these guitar tracks, yeah? Your help. There is nothing. We'll bring this guitar track up a bit. And you'll see when I click on each track, if you've got solo selected, it automatically moves to the next track. How good is that? So let's sit on this track here and let's run through some EQ, yeah? We'll do the EQ first. So we might want to brighten up this a bit. You can go absolutely crazy, of course. And again, the difference between using GarageBand's EQ, we know how many decibels we're moving up. We can actually start to visualize numbers and understand how to move EQ to different parts so other parts fit in nicely, you know, the right way you should use EQ. But also we have a shelf filter here. So if I move across to shelf, we can, hi Chad as well, we can pull out the bass, so we can pull out like 50 hertz of the bass if we want, very easily like that. Or we can add, let's come back here. We also can, we have a high shelf here, so we can take out all the highs. So very quickly we have a nice shelf filter here, and it's very visual here in GarageBand. It just makes sense. And again, with anything, double tap, triple tap, and everything resets. Nice. But here's the fun. We've got a compressor, and look how easy this compressor is to work. Let's use this on this beautiful guitar track because everything is absolutely visual. So I can crush that right down with the compressor just by pulling the curtain down, I call it. So we've got this curtain. It tells you how much threshold we're using. So you can hear that get compressed the crap out of. We've got makeup gain over here. Of course, that's way too much compression. We're crushing the shit out of it. But here's our ratio. So for a guitar, maybe we want something like a 3. And there's our makeup gain. We've got our attack over here. Right, so you just move these left and right, and our release. And our knee for smoothing stuff out. Hey, what's going on, Cam? Deep Gravity. So you can see, to compress stuff in here is just mind-boggling easy. But here's the other cool thing here. You have the ability to compare a track to another track. So currently we have guitar track 1 selected. I can now go over to the compare tab and choose guitar track, I think it's, where is it? Is it this one? So we can now compare the 2 guitar tracks. We can see what's going on with both of them to match the same kind of tone or a different EQ. And this not only works with the compressor, but it also works with the EQ. So you can see here, you can compare this to other parts of the song. We could compare this to another guitar track, or to the left guitar track, and it also works with the shelf and for our peak EQing. So not only do you have a shelf EQ, but you have peak EQs in here. Let's come back to our guitar so you can spread with your fingers or pinch to take out some of those nasty sounds. So there's a real nasty one right there, listen to that. Let's take that out. And you can have up to 3 of these. Pinch, I'll show you with my, what's going on here. So you can widen this cue or tighten. And just lift up to add another one. Pinch. So you can only have 3 of them, as it just told us. And you can see as well, we've still got the representation of the other guitar underneath, so you're being able to compare that to another track. In the mode here, you can change the way the graphs look. So if you prefer a graph to look like this, or you want it to look like a mix minus kind of mixer, or an octave graph, smaller graph, you've got the bigger one, a log graph. Let's bring that back. Or a linear graph. So many options for comparing tracks. Or if you don't want to compare, you can just go in here and turn this off and just get the original track that you're looking at. So those are the things you can add in here. You've got EQ, shelf, peak, and a compressor. You can side chain as well. We're not going to be able to do that. Well, we have drums in here, so we could side chain this right now. So if we've got a compressor, we've got a side chain here, so we can just go in and choose the drums. Let's bring the mix back in.
Cause you don't like what you're seeing, and you don't like what it means.
And you can sidechain. I showed it on the other show. We're not going to go through that today. The other thing I want to show you is, so now we've made our mix here. We hit play from the start. At any time, you can turn this pass-through button off, and this will give us the actual GarageBand mix over here.
When you open your eyes,
so this is
to the sky
the
above,
untouched
and see the
GarageBand mix. I can turn things up over here and stuff. But once we jump back in here and turn off this pass-through, this is our new mix. And you can hear those guitars just spread out even wider. I'll show you. I'll shut up.
And you don't want to believe it, 'cause you're part of the 1%.
Absolutely amazing.
When you
Now what's going to be really good for this is mixing Pete's vocals here. Let's go in and solo Pete's vocals because I'm really looking forward to this. We'll open our mix bar and we'll solo these because we have these amazing EQs.
What you're seeing, and you don't like what it means, and you don't want to believe it, 'cause you're part of the 1%. See the world. There is nothing that you can do but close your eyes again, 'cause you don't like what you're seeing, and you don't like what it means.
Now, if you want to compare sounds, so what you'll notice here too is with these effects, normally once you add something, Hypnotic, see you later. Thanks for hanging out. So what you can see, notice these buttons down here. The peak has a little white line. See that white line above? If there's a white line above any of these boxes here, that means you've added some kind of thing to it. You've activated it at some point. So you can see we've got EQ over here. So it's got a white line. If I hold this down now, it's now turned off the EQ. So you can now listen without EQ. Let's add EQ back. And that's brought it back in there. Same with the compressor. Hold it down. It deactivates it.
When you open your mind up to the evidence,
so you just hold down to bring them back. Hi, Princess.
There is nothing that you can do.
We can add more bass to his vocals.
Your mind again, 'cause you don't want to admit it, that you don't know what to do, and you don't have all the answers, 'cause you're part of the 1%.
Another really handy button that is in here is the DC filter. What does the DC filter do? When you activate it, it takes every single track in this mix that is in the live mix and it removes 50 hertz. So all that low rumble, all gone in a second. So if you know, you're not going to hear it because a lot of that stuff we can't hear anyway.
When you open your heart up to the people who need
I've
your
botched this vocal
help.
clearly because
There's nothing that
EQ is
can
terrible.
do but turn and walk away. 'Cause you don't care, what can you do? And it's their fault anyway.
So
And
much
you
power.
just don't understand it. 'Cause
So not only that, you have a meter here, if you like looking at meters as well.
you're part
Something
of the
GarageBand doesn't have.
one person.
So let's go back over to our mix here, bring up our mix bar, and we'll make sure we've saved this. And we can overwrite this mix. So now that's saved. We can jump over here to this mix. So you've got all that power as well. We've got snapshots. I covered that in the other show. You're not really going to need snapshots. Do you, Jade, do you keep a flat copy and blend it with a newly mixed product? No. No. I think I get what you're saying, but no. Hi, Charlie, by the way. So also, another thing you can do, once you've set this up, if you hit this little lock button, now you can't fuck this up. See that? Let's just make sure. So I can't move anything now. I can't move any of these. They're all locked into place. So you can't fuck up your mix. It's all locked in place. Really handy. So, and remember too, when you shut down your project, GarageBand should save all these settings. I hope they do. Shall we try it? I haven't actually tried this. Let's see. All right, so we've shut it down. If we open it up, is everything still there? I don't know. It's not coming up. What's going on? I've lost everything. There we go. Look, it's all still there. There you go. So there's no special thing you have to do to save it. It's all still there. God, I had a panic there. There's nearly a murder on the dance floor. And look, it's still locked. All still locked. Plus, you can unlock this, and if you want to turn everything up at once, you can do that too, because you've got these left and right arrows. You can turn it up in the mix, and you can turn it down in the mix. Everything at once.
And see the
Do you understand how good this is, folks? How many times, guys, have you had a mixing GarageBand and you've just gone, but I just want to move one thing up, and now everything's all out of time. And now I need to move them all at once. And I don't have the patience to take every single one of these and move them up whatever dB, because you don't tell me how many dB I'm moving it. And now you can actually just grab this, open it up full screen, hit the arrows and move it all up. And you can see we've even got our dB representation. So this is over 0 dB. Right, so if we want to bring this right down overall in the mix, just keep going all the way down. And you can actually see how loud this is. I hope you're watching this, Pete Johns.
'Cause you don't like what you're seeing, and you don't like what it means, and you don't want to believe it, 'cause you're part of the
So you can reset this at any time.
1%.
And now they've all gone back to the middle. Now if I go back to mix A, everything's back. Mix B, right? It's pretty bananas. Pretty damn bananas. And the other thing I just will go over again, because I only briefly went over it at the start. When you create a mix here, you can see we only have 0 dB down to -15. You can change that in the mix. Up here in your options, you go to settings, live mix options, because this is where the live mix is found. And you can actually go here to live mix graph dB range, and you can make it larger. You can go all the way up to 80 dB. So you've got all this length for volume, so you can bring everything down, get a much wider picture of your mix, or you can make it go 15. So there you go. And then once you're in here, you can just tap on individual things. Let's bring those. So we've got our guitars there. Where are my drums? They're not in here. My drums have disappeared for some reason. That's an interesting one. But they're in the mix, aren't they?
There is
No, they're not.
that you can do but close your mind again.
So something odd has happened there, but we're going to move on because I want to mix another one. A LUFS meter would be great. I'm going to hit Paul up from Four Pockets and ask him if he would consider to put a LUFS meter in here. I will do that for you, Bo Schaefers, because I need to send Paul an email after this show. So I will ask him specifically, can we have a LUFS meter? Can we have a LUFS meter? That would be fucking amazing. I agree 100%. So let's quickly have some fun here. We got this FMC track. Yeah, we love to LUFS. Everybody loves to LUFS you, baby. So let's do the same thing with this FMC track. This is my FMC song. Boom. All right, so let's go. Let's bring some stuff in. Let's bring in a AudioScope. Oh, the other thing too, I'll show you on the next one. So we'll go in here. This is our drum track. So with this particular one, my drums are all in one thing. So we'll just call this drums set. There's our drums. So there is another option. I didn't cover it in the last show. Let's edit this and bring in another one. You'll notice in the audio units, there's a AudioScope MIDI and an AudioScope normal. The AudioScope MIDI you can use if basically it allows you to use a MIDI controller to change things around. So that's essentially what it is. So you're going to mostly be using AudioScope, the normal AudioScope. So what is this track here? This is my bass, I think. Sweet. So we're going to call this bass. How low can you go? Death row. You know the rest. Let's add in. Thank you, Alex. That's very kind of you for the super chat. You rock. Thank you so much. Definitely helps out the channel. This is the first guitar track, I think. Yeah. So this is a left guitar track. So we'll call this guitar left, GL. This is our second guitar track with a different tone. Now, I did cover in the other show as well. It has a... I'll talk about it in a sec. So this is our guitar right. Yeah. And then our next track is Cold Acres guitar track. Can you use AudioScope inside of multi-track? I don't know. You can use it in AUM. I don't know if you can use it in... Man, that's getting meta. That is fucking meta right there. Can you use pretty much a multi-track mixing tool inside a multi-track audio recorder inside AUM, which is a multi-track kind of audio recorder? Fuck me. Good question. I don't know. I'm not going to do it. I think I'll invert into myself and disappear up my own asshole. So this is Cold Acres guitar track in this one. No, this is the Chugger track. We're going to call this the Chugger guitar. This is Chugger. We'll just call it Chugger. Chugger. Set. Now the next track is Cold Acre. His solo bits. So we'll call this Cold Fish. So I'm just renaming all these Cold Fish. And now all the rest of this song is vocals. So there's a heap of vocal tracks. What's the main vocal?
Visual exposed, piling up the decompose.
Right. So this will be. This is the second.
Game, I can't resist the awful taste.
You think it would result in a ban? That's the way it works. Alex, what are you doing? Thank you so much. All right, so this will be our main vocal track. So again, I need to remove these effects things. All right, let's move this down the list. And we'll call this main vocal 1. I'm going to jump down to this one here because it's the other main vocal. And we'll edit this, move it to the bottom of the chain. I don't know why this is happening. Why is this happening? Paul, can you, if you go back and watch this video, Paul, I don't know what is happening with this. This is odd how it's calling it something. It's calling it the same name. I don't know why that is. That's weird. So we'll keep going. Maybe it's a bug. Which, it's early days, so if it is a bug, trust me, Paul will be on it and he'll fix it because that's what Paul does. He's a legend. This is our, what is this one? This is our, we'll do, let's just do vocal, backup V1. We'll do this backup V2. Okay. Sorry it's so time consuming, guys, but it is worth it in the end. Backup V3. Well, too many backup vocals. V1. So we want to do V2. V2. Now you'll notice I've been screwing up here, so we need to move these down to the bottom. Need to move this one down to the bottom. Done. So I've only got 3 more vocal tracks here. Let's get rid of this. And do a backup V3. Next one. I really hate that GarageBand puts in this effect thing. It sucks so much because nobody uses it. It's in every freaking track. Backup V4. And the last vocal track here will be this one. Backup V1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's move these down the list so they're all at the end. Sweet. At the end. Sweet. At the end. So it looks like they're all at the end. And now, so this one we're not using. We can actually, we don't need it. We could delete it. Done. All right. Let's open up AudioScope and start to mix. Here we go. Now, I will set this to 50 dB before we do anything. Live mix. And now we will That's how you reset everything if you want to. See that initialize mix? That will reset everything for you. Let's go in here and go settings, live mix, enable, all instances. Where do we go? There they are. And here's everything. Let's spread this stuff out. You can also, once you've got everything in here, see this? This is another little handy thing you can do. Just move all these out the way, spread them all out. If you hold down the mix bar button, that will let you skip between the stereo wide version. Yeah, so you can do that. Also, there's another thing I think you can do. How do I do this? I can't remember how to do it. No, that's not it. There's another thing I can do. It's not. No. I'll remember it. No. I'll remember. There's so much to remember, guys. All right. Let's bring these drums up the middle. We got main vocal. Where's our drums? We got chugger. We got drums. Let's hear what this sounds like, just as it is. What have I done? I've missed AudioScope 7. What's AudioScope 7? I guess it's track number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One of them's not named. Which one haven't I named? Boom, 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 boom. We shall find out. I think it's... Oh, right. So here's the issue. This was our vocal track. Let's name this main vocal. What was it called? The other one was called main vocal 1. So we'll call this main vocal 2. Main vocal 2. Excellent. And now... I haven't got everything here. So let's see if we can bring everything back in. I'm confusing myself today. Enable. All instances. Go! Where are they all gone? Oh, it's filter? No? Where's everything gone? I'm losing the plot. I know why. It's all good. I'm over here. There we go. Jesus, get your shit together, Jade. Right, let's hear it. I've got no sound. Everything.
Feasting on the remains.
There we go.
I can't resist the awful taste.
Okay, here's our drum mix. Let's bring in some guitars. Let's bring in our bass first. There we go. I know. Breathe. I'm trying to get so much done, guys, that I'm probably jumping ahead of myself. Let me have a sip of coffee. We've got everything in here. It's hard because the thing is, I'm working backwards. When you're making a song, you wouldn't be doing this. You'd be adding AudioScope to each new track that you do. So you wouldn't be getting as confused as I am. I'm having to go back through all these tracks and add everything afterwards. So it's a little bit confusing. But yeah, you'll be adding these as you're going. So now we've got bass and drums. We'll put the bass right underneath the drums here. Okay, let's bring in some guitar. You can already hear how good that is. Wow, just bringing that in. Yeah, man. Bring in the chugger up the middle. already, without even doing anything, this is so much a better mix. I feel I can hear everything so much clearer already. All right, we'll go back to the start. Main vocal.
I can't resist the awful Feasting on the remain. I can't resist the awful taste. Go.
So as you can see, I've stacked up all those backing vocals.
I can't resist the awful Feasting on the remain. I can't resist the awful taste. Go.
So what we'll do here is we'll spread out these backup vocals even wider, so there's a bit more depth to it, and we'll leave that one there. So that's our backup 3. Bring this about here. Backup 4. Kind of in the middle there. Now backup 5, way out here. So we should have a nice spread of backup vocals now.
Feasting on the remain. I can't resist the awful Feasting on the remain. I can't resist the awful taste. Go.
Well, fuck me sideways and paint me green. Really sick. The other thing I will let you know that I think is very important, you'll notice when I saved Pete's project earlier and it's kept the settings, another thing you need to be wary of, and I'm pretty sure this is correct, Paul can hopefully, if he watches this, correct me in the comments maybe, or let me know via email when I chat with him. When you save this, now if I jump out of here and save this, if I open a brand new project, right? Let's create a brand new project quickly with an auto drummer, just for the sake of it. We'll throw Kyle in there. And let's add an instance of AudioScope. And what you'll notice, what I do suggest you do for every new thing that you open this in, the first thing you should do is open up here and hit Initialize Mix and reset everything. Because I think some of the memory of this app tends to carry over into the next project. I noticed that with AUM the other day. I opened up a new project and started building a new thing with AudioScope, and a whole lot of the EQs were still saved in there. So it is a good idea with each time you just initialize a mix, and this resets everything in there just to be safe, because its memory is super good. Let's jump back over to FMC, see if it saved all these settings. Yep, everything's there. We'll go full screen, and of course I'm going to go in and hit my mix bar and save a mix. Did you see that? See how it said overwrite or cancel? That's what I'm talking about. It's still kept the mixes from Pete's mix. So if I just hit mix A now, I'll prove this. Let's overwrite. And now let's go to mix B. Look at that. That's all the settings that were over on Pete's mix. But it's taken these new tracks and moved them there. So you need to be aware when you open a new track to go in here and initialize the mix and just make sure everything's clean. There's nothing in the memory. But there's our mix. It's a pretty good mix. It only took nothing. Now, if you've got things bunched up, and you're finding it hard to select, remember you can grab things this way, so you can select the bass this way and then move it around. Make sure it's in the middle there. We can go over here to what else was in the middle. So we've got our chugger. Now that's selected, we can make sure that's 100% in the middle. I'm going to grab these vocal tracks now. So V1, there it is. Put that in the middle as well. V2. Get that in the middle. So now that should give us a bit of a... Perfect. Now we can go down here and save this mix, override it. Done. And I haven't even gone in here and added any compression or EQ or anything like that to this yet. So we could probably, fix up some of these EQs, compare the guitar. So we could grab guitar number 1, the left guitar, and then compare it to number 2. Where is it? G right. So now in our EQ, when we play this back, so you can see there the guitars are pretty much EQ'd the same. So why is the compare good? So you can fill out those spaces in the EQ where the other guitars are hogging, and you could pull out some of the mids and let the mids be full on the left guitar, and on the right guitar you could probably take out some of the mids and just get that even balance. And then again, you've got your peak stuff that you can add in there. So really, really cool. Maybe it would be an idea to have a mix view that is just in track order without the panning to make it easier to mix stuff when you have a lot in the center. Well, I mean, this is what I'm trying to work out. There's another thing you can hit here. Where is it, man? There's too many hidden things, Paul. I can't remember where they are. It's not that one. It's not the mix bar. There's something you hold down and it brings everything back down. I can't remember what it is. Dude, why can't I remember what it is? It's not that one. How do I do it? Settings, live mix. Is it reset mix settings? I don't want to do it just in case, maybe. No, see, it's not that one. I can't remember what it is that you do. It's not the stereo one. There's something that you can hold down and it pulls everything. Oh, man, it sucks. My memory's just fucked. Is it in the... it could be in here. In the options. Reset. No. Is it this one? No. There's something... I'll have to fucking come back. I did it in the other show. So if you go back to the other show... Man, I'm so shit today. It's got to be one of these things that you hold down. It's not this one. No. That just brings stuff back. That changes everything from stereo. But yeah, what it does is, too, if I could remember how to do it. It brings everything down the bottom so you can create a mix from scratch. But when you initially add everything in, if we do a disable, if we reset this, live mix, disable live mix, all instances, and then we do a whole new initialized mix, or over here, enable, it does bring everything into the middle. Oh, it didn't then. When you set up, let's do this, initialize mix, reset all settings, boom. Paul's going to kill me for forgetting this. Enable live mix. So there's everything in the middle.
I can't read 60 off of text go.
So that's everything in the middle when you start off. And then from there you can start spreading things out and creating your... So there is that option. When you first bring everything in with your initial mix, and you can bring in, remember, you can bring in stuff individually as well. So you don't have to, if we reset, I covered this kind of in the initialize mix, yes. We can bring everything in one by one. So I can hit drums and hold down the mix button and just bring in the drums. Move to the next track, bass, hold down the mix. So you can bring everything individually. You don't have to do it all at once. I didn't cover snapshots in this because it's not really relevant for GarageBand, but go back and watch the other show if you want to learn how to use snapshots and such. All right. I think I've prattled on long enough. You should be able to see the value in this app. It's $14.99. It's absolutely worth your fucking time. As I showed at the beginning of the show too, guess what? It also works on your Mac as well. So it works over there on the Mac. It works on GarageBand. Don't know why you'd want to use on the Mac because there's already heaps of functionality there. But this should make your mixes even better. And it's absolutely no-brainer. App of the year for me. This makes GarageBand fucking awesome. Apple, are you watching? It took somebody else to take GarageBand to the next level. Please, pay attention, Apple. All right. Thanks, guys, for hanging out today with me. Tomorrow we are taking a look at another absolutely killer app. It is so many great apps this week. We are looking at Butter Synth. It's nuts. It's the only synth you're going to need. It's so damn good. It's just unbelievably cool. I'm going to try to cover as much of it as I can tomorrow because there's just so much in that app. It is absolutely unbelievable. We've got some other great apps coming up this week. I won't go over them all for you. Please join me for the rest of this week. And now that we've changed everything on the show, let's go out with today's featured artist. You saw her last week. I interviewed her, Melly Baby. She's amazing. And guess what? She just released a new song today. So let's go out with Melly Baby's brand new track. This is Cosmic. Let's do it. Do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. And we'll all rise together. I'll see you tomorrow. Boom.
Cosmic rain turns to stone. All I am is what I know. Sometimes life doesn't work out how you think it should. It turns out better than you ever thought it would. So dream. Cosmic ash once was gold, garbage bag full of money loans. Sometimes boys disappoint you in ethereal ways. You'll forget them when you meet the one someday. So dream. when our heart keeps beating, a life keeps breathing. When our heart keeps beating, a life keeps breathing. When our heart keeps beating, a life keeps breathing.
We'll all rise together, 'cause you make me shine better. And we'll all rise together.